Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have an opportunity to hear firsthand experiences, memoirs, and anecdotes throughout the life of Grand Master of not just the trumpet, but music. I have prepared several questions about events and stories that I've heard and learned about over the years. I am proud to introduce 10-time Grammy winner among countless other prestigious awards, Maestro Arturo Sandoval.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Keith Fiala, my brother, man, always helping me to put projects together. Yes, good afternoon. Before we start talking, I would love to play a couple notes. Yes, a
Please.
couple notes.
Ah, beautiful.
Oh, thank you. If you give me $1 million and ask me to play that again, I'm gonna lose the money because I don't remember anything. But before we start, into the Q&A, I would like to share with the people in general my appreciation, profound appreciation for what this beautiful and beloved country means to us. We really never took it for granted. And since we get in the U.S., we got so many demonstration of respect and admiration and opportunities of all kind, and really is something beyond our imagination because I not even could dream with the thing that happened to us over the 30 years, we're living here. I always got the idea that I was born again when I was 40, which is good. I got a second win, a second opportunity, and this is what we're doing. And saying that, I really mean that.
That's very beautiful.
Oh yeah, I really mean that from the bottom of my heart because I I strongly believe that one of the worst things that any human being could have is be ungrateful. When you are when you are ungrateful, I think God is watching everything. When you are ungrateful, He's watching, saying, "Man, why you are like that?" When good things happen to you, you must be grateful.
I
And
agree.
then He's gonna reward you somehow.
Yes, sir.
And otherwise, okay, get ready to get some punishment. ¿Tú lo estás viendo por, ¿vale? Are you watching them? Facebook or
YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, and then that means we are connected.
We're connected on both.
We are
Excellent.
connected on YouTube and Facebook.
That's right.
Man, thank you so much, Keith. You
Bye.
know, otherwise, without your help, forget about it. I couldn't do it.
It's my pleasure, sir. It's my pleasure.
Okay, let's go in material.
So, first question is in For Lover Country, the depiction of you meeting Dizzy Gillespie for the first time, is that accurate?
Extremely accurate. You know, it's a movie. You cannot really guarantee that 100% everything is extremely accurate and perfect, you know, and exactly the way it will happen. But most of the things are very accurate. And that's one of them, you know, when I met Dizzy, that was in May 77 when he came in the boat, in the cruise, a jazz cruise. They stopped there for 48 hours. And then somebody called me from the musician union. That's a very funny story. That is not in the movie. Somebody called me and said, Arturo, I knew him because I played with him in the famous Tropicana nightclub many years ago. Many years before, I mean. And I said, Arturo, listen to me. I know you're a big fan of this Gillespie. He's coming this afternoon to Havana. I said, what kind of joke is that? He said, no, man, I'm very serious. I'm very serious. Yes, he's coming at 3:30 or something in the harbor, Havana harbor, in the jazz cruise. And also, I heard about that Stan Getz is in the boat too. Okay. I get my little car. At that time, I have a Primus 1951. It was falling apart. I just painted with a brush with gasoline and tar. It smelled horrible and looks worse. I went there and I was there, you know, looking to the stairs of the boat. Finally, I saw Dizzy Gillespie coming down. And then I said, oh. And now what am I going to say? I cannot say a word in English. What am I going to say now? I said, oh my goodness. But you know, God always has been very good to me. When he was coming toward me, you know, it was kind of close. A guy walks behind him and started to talk to me in perfect Spanish. By the way, 2-3 days ago, he just passed away. Ray Mantilla. He was a percussionist. He was playing with Stan Getz in the boat. And then he started talking to me in Spanish. And I said, man, you're going to save my butt. Can I say butt?
You can.
That's okay?
That's
it's not too aggressive?
No.
Okay. And then, he said, and he asked me, do you know this man? Pointed to this, he said, yeah. Are you a musician? I said, no. Okay, fine. To tell you the long story, the rest, you know, this answer. That's your car. I say, okay, show me the Havana. And then we drove all day long. And then you know, the passenger door doesn't open. And then he got through gate 2. ¿Qué, mami? El audio. I'm using a microphone and it's very loud. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get closer to the mic. Okay, and then the passenger door, it doesn't open. And then he get through the thing. And then when he smelled the car, he said, man, this car smells funny. And I said, yeah, man, I talked to the guy, you know. Everything was through Ray, you know, translating from us. And I said, yeah, I just painted with a brush with a tar diluted in gasoline. And then he said, oh, you're supposed to put the car on the road, not the road on the car. that was funny, man. Okay, tell me about it.
Okay.
Something else.
Sure. Another question. Gustavo Bergali in Sweden. What about the instruments?
Yeah, Gustavo Bergali is an Argentinian magnificent trumpet player and a wonderful guy. He's a very dear friend. And I was playing in Sweden with my band from Cuba. I'm talking about probably early 80s.
Okay.
Early 80s. I was playing there with my band from Cuba. At that time, we didn't have any idea that we could rent instruments and amplifiers and things, and then we didn't know about it. You know, we were completely part of the forward, and beside that, we don't even have a penny to rent anything. And then we used to travel with a bunch of big cases with three congas, timbales, amplifier, acoustic bass, and this and that. That was, a lot of
A lot of equipment.
equipment. How you say it?
The road cases.
Road cases.
Sure, sure.
Okay. And then we went to the train station to jump in the train and going to Germany or somewhere. I can't remember exactly where. I think it was we went from Sweden to Germany or somewhere else. I really can't remember exactly. Okay. And then Gustavo was so nice. He accompanied us. He went with us to the train station.
Okay.
And then we have got bunch of cases there in the, how do you say, in the platform. In the platform,
sure.
in the platform. Okay. And we start putting the cases there, and the guy, the conductor of the train is on, all aboard, we're leaving, and the train start moving, and we have half of the staff in the platform. And then the train start moving, and then we get in the train, and Gustavo was there, looking to me like this. Like, man, what am I gonna do with this? He said, I don't know. Of course, no cell phone, no nothing, no way to communicate. Later on, he was so nice, and he sent the instrument to us where we supposed to play the next gig.
Wow.
But that was very funny, man. His face said a lot of things, when he looked at me and said, man, what am I gonna do? Bunch of cases. Oh my goodness.
That's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about Woody Herman, Ronnie Scott, and the Hollywood Bowl 50th anniversary. How did that come about?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I was playing. By the way, I used to play there more than 1 or 2 times a year. I'm talking about a famous jazz club in London, in Soho, London, called Ronnie Scott. I used to play there a lot, even when I was living in Cuba. And I was playing there one night, and that was probably 84, 85. I think it was 85, 1985. I was playing, and I was on stage with my band from Cuba. I was blowing a solo, and then in the middle of my solo, an old man jumped on stage and walked to my side like this. He was standing right here.
While you're playing?
I was blowing while I was playing. Yeah, it was blowing there, and we were standing here. I can feel his breathing, respiration in my face. And then I look at him with the corner of my eye and say, what the heck is that? This guy is freaking crazy or what? And finally I finished my solo. I didn't say anything during that. And then he looked at me and said, hey man, you play a mean trumpet. And then he got off stage and sit down there in his table again. And I finished the set. The owner of the club, the manager, the owner, he was a very good friend of mine, the late Pete King. And then he came to me and said, Arturo, you know who's that old man? I said, no idea. He said, he's Woody Herman. I said, Woody who? He said, yeah, Woody Herman. And he want to talk to you. I said, oh my Lord. And then I walk there, I sit down at the table with him, and then we say, Maestro, what an honor to meet you, right? The whole thing, okay. And then he said, out of the blue, said, hey, in a few months, they're gonna make a concert as a tribute to my 50th anniversary of my big band thing, and then they're gonna do a concert in the Hollywood Bowl. And I would love to invite you, my guest, to play in that concert. I said, sir, this is such a huge honor. I would love to do it, but I live in Cuba. It's going to be extremely difficult to get a visa to travel to the U.S. I said, that's not your business. I said, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, and then I go back to Cuba, he get back to LA or wherever he lived, And, and then a few months later, not even 2 3 months later, I got a phone call from one of the greatest jazz historian in the history of the genre, Leonard Feather. I don't, at that time, I didn't have an idea who he was, you know.
Sure.
Who he were or
Who he was, yeah.
Who he was.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yes.
I'm trying to improve my broken Spanglish. Okay, and then he called me in my house in Cuba, Leonard Feather. Said, Mr. Sandoval, may I speak with you? Yes, how can I help you, sir? I was saying a couple of words already, here and there, a little bit. And then I understood that he sent a letter to the State Department on behalf of Woody Herman to ask for my visa to come to the United States. And he was informing me, you know, he was telling me that the visa was granted already for 48 hours.
Wow.
I could fly to LA, play the gig,
And fly back.
and get out of here. I said, okay, and then I came. That was, I think it was 86. Yeah, the concert was at 86 at the Hollywood Bowl. He invited me to play some solos and also Stan Getz. We were the two guest soloists for the concert. And then he put two big bands on the stage. There was the old fellow, the guy who used to play with him for decades, and then the new big band, the current big band that he was using at that time. It was a bunch of young guy, but a good, excellent. The two big band was amazing. And then Stan Getz and me up front playing solos here and there. That was so nice. Actually, he saw me on the Ron Scott playing the timbales, and then when I came to the sound check rehearsal, he got a set of timbales there ready for me.
Ready to go.
Oh yeah, okay. And then we played a gig, and that was such a huge honor for me, you know. And that was and to play for the first time ever in the Hollywood Bowl, that was something, man, because that stage is, you know, it's huge. It's something that you get overwhelmed when you see that place packed, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then when we finished, he invited a group of people, not everybody, but he invited a group of people to go to his house after the concert. And I was invited too. I went there. I remember that I became friend, and we started talking a lot with especially with two guys, Carl Fontana, the great trombonist, probably one of my favorite ever, Carl Fontana, and Benny Carter. I was talking to them in the backyard of his house. By the way, that was at the house, and I'm gonna make a parenthesis there and later on. Okay, but that was the house of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. That house, you know, and the view of the whole valley like this at the Hollywood and Beverly Hills and everything. That was amazing, beautiful house. We were there, you know, we have a little drink and something to eat, and then I was talking to Carl Fontana and Benny Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Benny Carter, yeah. I don't want to sound like name dropping, but
No. That's
no. I hold the people. You know, they know that's no BS. I got those blessings, you know, to know all those people. Okay, and then I also met Leonard Feather. He was there too, you know, and a bunch of other musicians. I cannot remember everybody's name. Anyway, we were in the patio watching the view. There was the summer. That was beautiful. Okay, and then Woody walked there, and he grabbed me by my hand and say, "Hey, Arturo, follow me. I want to show you something." Okay, I said, "Okay, sir." Let's start following him. And then we walked through the living room, through the kitchen or something, and then we get in his master bedroom. And then he pointed to the bed, and he said, "You see that bed there?" He said, "Yes, sir." At that time, I was a little, say, "What's going on here, man? What's going on here?" He said, "You see that bed there? That's the bed where Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall used to do their business." Of course, he said in other words.
Sure.
But I said, "Wow, very interested. And then we walk back to the backyard. I mean to the patio, and I'm making a stupid mistake. I told that story to Carl Fontana. I say, man, you know what happened to me now? I say, what? What would you have? What would you? He said, I explained to him, and then he started to tell everybody in the party what happened, you know. And then I was, you know, I was a clown of the party. Everybody was looking at me and said, "Woo." But anyway, you know. But I want to tell you this story that I want to share also. I don't know if everybody know about. When he was very sick, already to die, you know, he was in serious economical problem, you know, and then he was about to lose his house, you know, and that exactly same house.
Same house.
And he was in serious problem, you know,
Sure.
economical problem. Okay, and then he was very ill already. He was in the hospital and you know, in bad shape. Mr. Frank Sinatra heard about what's going on with Woody. Frank Sinatra used to sing in his band way back, you know. And then he came to the hospital. Listen to this because it's a very beautiful story, man. He came to the hospital to see Woody, who was there by his bed, and then he grabbed his hand and get to his ear and said, Woody, don't worry about anything about your house or anything the money you own, doubts, the doubts.
The house, the debts.
Your debt. Don't worry about it. I liquidate everything. Everything is paying full already.
Wow. So he came to the rescue.
Yes, sir. That was Frank Sinatra.
That's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So you told me a story once about a movie premiere at the Champs-Élysées with Michel Legrand, Michel Piccoli, and Catherine Deneuve.
Deneuve. Catherine Deneuve.
Catherine Deneuve.
How's your French, man?
It's a little weak.
Sound weak. Man, that was something. You know, I met Michel Legrand actually in Havana, in Cuba. Years before, I think it was probably in the late 70s or something. I met him there, probably early 80s or something. Okay, we met there, we played together. We really connected very well since the first moment, you know. And I'm a huge fan of his music, you know. And I was playing in a small club in Paris. I was playing that. Once in a while he came. I was playing that 2-3 weeks every night with a local French musician.
Okay.
And he came there more than 3 or 4 times, you know, during that period, just to jam, you know, have fun, and then we have a glass of wine and this. Okay. Then one night he came to the club and said, tomorrow night, early night, before your show here and things, and it's going to be the premiere on Champs-Élysées, one of the main movie theater there, of a new movie that I wrote a score. I would like to invite you to the premiere. Say, wow, man, what an honor. You know, movie premiere, that was completely out of my picture, you know. Okay, and then I went there with him, but I was playing 3 sets a night. I finished every night in that club kind of very late. And then I went to the bed to the horrible small hotel that got a bathroom by the end of the hall, and I can walk for half a block to go to the bathroom. And the room was like a small closet.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, horrible. And then I didn't sleep well any night, you know, and then during the day, I was like a zombie, you know, in Paris, you know, walking and there, but I was so tired and sleepy. Okay, I went with Michel Legrand to that premiere. He was so nice. He find a seat for me in the same row where he and his wife and the whole movie star was sitting.
Oh, wow.
Michel Piccoli and Catherine Deneuve. She was sitting there, everybody, you know, and then I sit down there. I not even could breathe, you know. But The problem is that I was so sleepy, man. I was so sleepy. Oh my lord! And the movie was in French without
No.
subtitle, no subtitles, no. And then it was a kind of slow movie. It was like a kind of drama, like a love drama thing, but very slow and very a lot of dialogue thing, but no action, no nothing, you know. And then I say, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I was holding my eyes like this. I said, oh my goodness, I kind of fell asleep here. But something was stronger than that, and I fell asleep. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is even my own snoring wake me up.
Oh no.
And then I wake up, and when I look at this, look to the whole row of all those
Of the actors.
people, celebrities or whatever, they was looking at me like this.
Oh no.
Man, I want that the earth up and eat me. You know, that was one of the worst embarrassing moments
Oh, that's.
in my life, man.
Oh, that's.
I apologized to him and later on I said, no, it's okay, we understand.
So we've talked many times about your meeting Maynard back at Carnegie
Maynard
Hall.
who?
Maynard Ferguson.
Maynard Ferguson,
Yes, sir. Could you recap that story
the
for me?
incredible Canadian
Canadian trumpet
trumpet
player.
player from Montreal.
Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the every trumpet player hero, you know, of course. And I was listening to him for so many years, and I'm still impressed with his ability to play the trumpet. You know,
agree.
he's one of a kind.
Yes.
Okay, 1977, when DC came to Cuba and so on, because I have to put together the two things. You know, when he come back to New York, he started talking to everybody about those musicians that he met in Cuba. And among those people, he was the president of Columbia Record, Bruce Lumwald. Bruce Lumwald. Bruce came to Havana to listen to our band in the rehearsal. And then, to tell you the long story shorter, to land it into the Maynard thing, he came to Havana, he signed our band for 3 years on CBS record.
Wow.
And then, exactly a year later, in June 78, they put us on the plane in Havana, and we landed in La Guardia, in New York. They put us on the bus, they dropped us early afternoon, straight to the Carnegie Hall for the sound check. Mami, no. Yeah, we said okay, yeah, but mami, pero no haga más eso, porque si no me distrae, no puedo concentrarme. And then we came straight from the airport to the Carnegie Hall to the sound check of the show that night. We played the second half of the show. The first half was Mary Lou Williams trio and Bill Evans trio. And we played the second half. And the problem is when we were backstage warming up, Dizzy was there, Mario Bauza was there, Tito Puente, Tu Stillman, the famous harmonica guy. A lot of people was there, and backstage, meeting us, that was beautiful. And then the guy with a suit and tie like this, a tall man, and he was asking for me, for my name. And then I came there, said, yes, sir, how can I help you? He said, are you Samuel Wild? I said, yes. Do you know Maynard Ferguson? He said, of course, I know him. I'm a huge fan of him. He said, okay, he's going to be here any minute. Here, I got his trumpet, and he's walking here, he's going to be here any second. Wow. Man, when I saw Maynard there in the dressing room, wow, embrace and everything, that was so nice, man. He was extremely nice and warm and, very, very nice. And then he saw my trumpet, And my trumpet was falling apart, you know. I have a rubber band in the water key, and I have another piece of tape in one on the lead pie or something. That was an all horn that was falling apart. And then he let me see your horn, man. He get my horn and say, man, this is about to die. He said, yeah, I know, but that's the only one I have, you know. And then he opened his trumpet case. He gave his trumpet, he handed it to me, and he said, wow, man, what a beautiful horn. He said, try it, try it. I put the mouthpiece and I blew a few notes, and I love it, of course. That was a great, great horn. And he took it from me. He said, okay, I'm going to keep it because I would love to play with you. Something there by the end of your concert. And then him and Stan Getz, he joined us and played the last couple of tunes.
Nice.
And then he told me, when we finish playing, this horn will be yours. And then he gave it to me. The first day we met, he gave me his horn. And then we became friends until he passed away. According to his family, I think I was the last person who talked to him on the phone before he passed away. Yeah. And we're going to miss him for the rest of our life.
What a beautiful story.
Oh, yeah. And a beautiful person besides to be one of the kind trumpet player.
Yes, sir. Now, I know you're a big fan of watches. And one watch story in particular that you told me was a Rolex gift from a Cuban guy from Miami in Mexico.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Dad, we were playing in a nightclub in Mexico. And then it was a table there in a nightclub of Cuban people from Miami that was visiting, tourists in Mexico or something. And they came to see the Cuban show. Actually, that was like a cabaret show with a couple of singers and dancers and a magician and a bunch of things. Okay, we do like that kind of thing. And after we finished the show, they came to us. They want to meet us and they want to take photos and things. I was a big guy like this with a suit and tie and that, okay? And then he was wearing a Rolex, a gold Rolex watch. And then he looked at me like this. He took his watch off and put it in my wrist. He said, no, sir, no, I cannot accept that. What are you doing? What's this? He said, please, don't offend me. It's my pleasure to give it to you. I said, oh man, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. And then I look and I see Rolex, and I see it was gold completely. I said, oh my Lord, I'm going to sell this right away because I need to buy some food and things. Okay, and then the day after, I was playing a gig, and I was doing a timbale solo, and the watch fly out of my wrist and landed there. And a few pieces was like this. And then I put it together somehow, and it was working more or less, and then it started to get green and black and all oxidation and thing. I figured it out what it was. It was a fake one. Horrible one.
Oh. So one of my favorite stories you've ever told me was when you were playing with Diz at the Royal Festival Hall.
Royal Festival Hall.
Yeah. And his microphone that wasn't turned on.
Okay, this is used for years, the click-on microphone on the bell of the trumpet.
Yes.
Okay. It's a little one that you click that thing. I have like a little remote control, like a wireless kind of thing.
Okay.
And he put it in his pocket, and then he can walk around stage or whatever, And in the middle of the concert, he took the mic out of the bell of the horn and put it in his pocket over here. And then he had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the gig. But the guy who was handling the mixer, the board, he didn't notice that, and he left it on, the microphone on. That was a funny thing.
So everyone heard his excursion.
Oh yeah, he was, doing his business.
So again, kind of going back to the movie, everyone knows what it took to get to the United States. but a lot of people don't know about what you went through once you were here to try to gain citizenship. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, you know, it's a law when you got it. For example, like we got a political asylum. We came to the country, and then we get like a permanent residence. You know, after 5 years, is according to the law. After 5 years, you can apply for your citizenship,
Okay.
and that's exactly what we did. And then, like few months later, that I sent my application and everything, I got a letter in the mail denying my citizenship application.
Wow.
I was so down, man. I'm depressed because I say, how? Man, nobody loves this country more than me. Forget about it. Nobody. How? That happened to me. Okay. And then a friend of mine recommended me to hire a lawyer, you know, because an immigration lawyer or something to put everything clear, you know.
Right.
Okay. We started that kind of things, and believe me, that took more than 2 years. How long, mami? ¿Cuánto demoró?
4 años.
4 years.
4 years.
Wow,
years.
that took 4 years.
Wow.
Waiting and waiting, and then they did hundreds of interviews, and then they recorded me in front of the camera like this. They do that thing with the, you know,
The
thing.
teletype, yeah, the person, the court reporter.
They're the co-reporter of those things. The only thing they missed was the lie detector, but I think they was about to do it. Okay, man, I was so down about it. Thanks God I didn't say anything in public at all.
Yeah.
You know, I bite my tongue, and I couldn't imagine why, man. Why? Okay, and we were playing in Washington D.C. and then a person that I knew him before I met him before I'm not allowed to mention his name. He came to our gig, and he went to my dressing room after the gig. I was talking to him at this moment. He was working in some special position, you know, in
Sure.
the country. And he asked me, how you doing, Arturo? How's everything? And then I explained to him the situation. I said, you know what, I cannot promise you anything, but legally I got the authority to open an investigation to see, and I'm gonna let you know what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, he did it. Like 2-3 weeks later, I got a letter in the mail that they granted my citizenship.
Wow.
And the thing was that I didn't know until much later. The FBI came to me and explained to me what had happened. It was the guy who was a director of immigration office in Miami. They catch him. He was a Cuban spy.
The director.
The director of the office.
Oh.
And then he was putting funny things in my file.
False information.
False information. You know that was good for him in front of the
Oh, sure.
dictator, you know,
Sure.
and in front of the government in Cuba. He did great.
Wow.
But you know, that's part of my life, you know. And anything in my life ever has been like a piece of cake, or anything ever fell out of the sky. I have to fight and suffer and work so hard for anything in my life.
Wow.
Anything. If something surprised me ever, it's very easy that $1 million fell from the sky in front of me or something. I said, I'm about to have a heart attack.
You and I are kindred spirits with the whole car addiction thing. Can you talk about maybe what your favorite car ever has been?
Okay, I gotta tell you that the whole thing started even before I was born, because my father went to school and he studied mechanic.
Okay.
He became a mechanic, you know, and then when he graduated and things, later on he opens up his own little garage, you know. workshop,
Sure.
garage. How do you call it?
A
Workshop?
workshop or mechanic shop, sure.
Mechanic shop.
Yeah, repair shop.
Okay. And then later on, he met my mother, my future mother. And then they get married, and he built a little house in the back of the garage, which means to go to the street, we have to get through the garage to go to the street. And then when I opened my eyes, that was the first thing I did, that was the first thing. And I think I learned how to drive before I learned how to walk. And that also became like a passion to me,
Sure.
And, oh yeah, Coco started barking, Coquito, please, take a break. Okay, and then, as I told you, that was natural in me, that passion for cars and things. And then, unfortunately, I grew up in Cuba, but that was so difficult for me to get a car. My first car was that old
51.
Plymouth 51 that was falling apart. And then my second car, it was a Russian car called Lada, Lada. That's the worst piece of crap that you could imagine.
Is that the one you had to
It's
get
like,
out and push?
it's like an illusion that you own the car. It's like illusion, but it's a piece of horrible. Okay, then when I get in the US, I said, man, if God help me, I'm gonna break even. I want to try as many cars as I could. And then I've been extremely blessed and lucky, and I have a few cars over 30 years, but I'm gonna make a confession. Out of every car I ever owned, now I am fully in love with the Ford F-150 pickup truck, the Raptor.
You got the Raptor. That's right.
Man, I love that car.
That's an amazing truck.
It got comfort, they got all the luxury, have everything, have a lot of power. When you put it in sport mode and you press the gas, I'm gonna tell you, it reacts like a sport car, man.
Yeah.
I love it. And I got everything, and I got a big thing to carry instrument or whatever we have to. And I'm very happy with that car.
That's a great car. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Again, one of my favorite stories you've ever told me was about Louis Armstrong, Lionel Hampton, and the Pope. Can you share that story?
Oh man, I gotta tell you. Many years ago, I think it was early 90s, I was invited to play with Lionel Hampton Big Band in a festival that he was a director in Moscow, Idaho. Moscow, Idaho, US. I went there to play with him and then we spent there, because it was like a festival, and then I spent there like 3 or 4 days in the same hotel with everybody. And one of the days he invited me for lunch, Lionel Hampton.
Okay.
He invited me for lunch. We went down in the restaurant in the hotel, we were sitting down there, and then he started telling me stories, He used to play with Benny Goodman and all those things, man. And of course, he was a good friend with Dizzy. We talk about this also a lot. And one of the stories he told me is one of the most funny things I ever heard in my life. Lionel Hampton and his wife, and Louis Armstrong and his wife, they got like how to say with the Pope?
It's a private attendance.
A private attendance with the Pope.
With the Pope.
At the Vatican. They went there, for them, they, kiss the Pope's hand, and they get a blessing from the Pope and everything. In the middle of the thing, the Pope offered them to give like a private personal tour through the Sistine Chapel, where all the Michelangelo fresh in the ceiling and all those things.
Yeah.
And the whole Vatican, and then Louis said, man, I'm sorry. I got a gig. I have a plane to catch. I'm sorry, man. He told that to the Pope. I'm sorry, man. I got a plane to catch. I got a gig, man.
Oh,
I gotta go.
Funny.
And Lionel told me, man, my wife and me, and even his wife, We want to kill him when he said that to the Pope, man.
Oh, that's great. You also told me a story when you were playing Quasimodo's in West Berlin back in, I think it was 89.
89.
Something
Exactly.
special happened that night.
We were playing in that. It's probably one of the most um, the best memories I got of any kind of crowd ever. That the people who used to go to that place called Quasimodo. It's in the basement in the ex West Berlin.
Okay.
It used to be East Berlin, West Germany, East Germany. Okay. It was four countries in one because East Berlin was no, I'm sorry. East Berlin was part of the
Eastern side.
East Germany, and West Berlin was independent, was owned by the, controlled by several governments. I know exactly, but and then West Berlin was separate from West Germany.
Okay.
Okay, we were playing there in West Berlin in that club, 89. I can't remember exactly the month, but it was 89. And we was about to start playing when the owner of the club came to me and he said, Arturo, we're gonna cancel the show tonight. It's something very important going on now, and I want you to come with me. Come with me. And then we went there. He jumped in this car, and then we went there to the Brandenburg, uh, La Puerta the Arc of big Arc in Brandenburg in Berlin.
Okay.
We went there, and the people was because that was the night where they announced that they're gonna turn down the wall, the Berlin Wall.
Wow.
And I was right there, man, watching the whole thing. I never forget that. I never forget that. That was
Oh, that's
something to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to stay on a heavy topic, but again, through the movie, we know what it took to get you to the United States, what you had to go through once you were here to get your citizenship.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how your parents came and what they had to go through.
I'm gonna tell you, since the very first day we get in the US, I'm gonna tell you that was for me like an obsession. I was thinking all the time about my parents. And my family in general,
Sure.
my sister, my nephew, my niece, and my whole family, but especially my parents, because my dad was already 72 and my mother was 70 already, and I was very concerned about them, and I was thinking full time how to get them out of the island. And I'm gonna tell you that lasts for 3 years. Yeah, almost 3 years. I was talking to anybody I could get, opportunity to talk about. I sent letters to the State Department, to immigration, to everybody, every senator, every Congress people, and I was trying to. Finally, the State Department gave me the two visas for them.
Wow.
And they got already their passport. I'm gonna tell you the story as short as possible. By the way, when we left Cuba, the people there started throwing them stones and eggs and things to their door, and they paint something horrible, and there was like that was a horrible thing that they got through. But when they approved the two visas for my parents, that was one of the happiest days in my life. I sent it to them right away, and they got already their passport. They was ready. I sent it 2 plane tickets, ready to fly to Miami. Okay, couple of days before the flight, they got a telegram or something to go to the immigration office in Havana. It was there a general, a couple of, colonel or something, and they were sitting there. The guy, my parents grew up in a very countryside of the island. They didn't have like a high school education or whatever. And I was very simple people, very humble people, extremely modest, you know.
Sure.
And my mother was there with a little purse, and my father, and they said, "Do you have your passport with you?" The officer said, "My mom, yeah, okay, yes, we got two passports. You got a plane ticket that your son sent you?" I say, "Yes, give it to him." And then the guy say right away, he say, "We got a message to tell you from Fidel Castro to let you know that forget about your trip. You never ever gonna be able to travel out of the country. And the trader of your son, you're never gonna see him again." And then immediately he took the two passport, turned down, and throw in the garbage, and the plane tickets, everything they throw in the garbage. Yeah, that was my very last memory of Cuban dictatorship. You know? Yeah, and later on they did have another choice to try to leave the island illegally, and this is what they did. They escaped in the small boat with another bunch of people, and they barely get in the little rock down Key West in Florida. And they dropped them there, and the Coast Guard picked them up and brought them to Key West. My mom had three vertebrae broken, and she was in a wheelchair for 6 months afterwards. And my father got bruises all over his body. He was black all over. There was direct Spanish descendant, you know. They got 100% Spanish blood, mother and father, you know. They were very light skinned, not like me. I had a little more, you know. And my father was like this, and my mother, she couldn't comb her hair, you know.
Oh no.
We have to help her for 6 months, and the doctor not even promise us that she gonna be able to walk again.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one of my beautiful memories of the Cuban dictatorship. And some people put in doubt why. You want more explanation? The day we left Cuba, they throw my sister and her husband out of the job for no reason. You know, they shouldn't pay for whatever I did, you know, but they throw them out of the job and they lost the job. And
You told me that they always punish the family members.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's terrible.
Okay, let's talk about something more
That sounds
uplifting because we got enough with that
Yes, sir. We do.
COVID, whatever. Oh my goodness. Oh.
So let me ask you about playing a solo on Frank Sinatra's last album, the number 2.
You know what? That for me is, and I'm gonna tell you how that happens because I must recognize that. He was Phil Ramon, the late producer, recorder, engineer, musician, an incredible person, an incredible producer. Phil Ramon, he produced a lot of important albums over the years.
Sure.
And we became friends, actually. He put me in several projects, not only that one. He put me to play on those 3 albums of Rob Stewart, the things, the
Rob
standard things he did, and I played in those albums, and that was him. He made me made a duet with Kenny G. That thing he played the tenor, and I played At Last.
At Last,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah. A bunch of things. And I was in Miami at that time. That was in the, I can't remember exactly what year it was, but I was living in Miami. And Phil Ramon called me and said, "Arturo, what are you doing tonight, man? I need you." I said, "Well, man, whatever you want me to." He said, "Okay, come to the studio. I want you to do a trumpet solo for the Frank Sinatra album I'm producing." I said, "Oh yeah, I think I could do that." Oh my goodness. And then we came to the studio, small studio in Miami, and the studio where we supposed to play was like a little closet, completely dead. And the trumpet sound awful, sound horrible. And I said, "Phil, man, no, I'm so sorry, man. I can't play here. This is horrible." And then I said, Arturo, I have to finish this. I have to do it. I said, man, please let me try something else. Let me go out of the fence, go to the lobby or the reception or whatever, where it's a little more live room, you know, because trumpet and deck rooms that don't go along
They
very
don't,
well, you
yeah,
know.
they don't coordinate.
Yeah, any acoustic instrument, but the trumpets suffer a lot when it's a dead room, you know. And I went out, and there was a stair over there. I said, let's open the door, that stair, and put a microphone by the entrance of the stairs. And then I stand here like 6 feet away or something, and the microphone was in the entrance of the stairs.
Okay.
And then I played a solo there. And then sound better.
Wow.
And there is, you know, is a duet number 2.
Duets number 2.
Luck to be a lady.
Man,
Luck be a lady tonight.
if you don't have that, I suggest you get it. Okay, so movie scoring. It's since I've been around you all the time now, I see it's a big passion of yours. How did that come about? How did you get that?
You know, I really, really love scoring movie, man. I strongly believe it's my biggest passion, man. It is. It is. More than playing music and more than, I don't know, more than, because it's such a great feeling, man. When you write something and you see the movie without music and then you insert the music and the music start to collaborate with the thing and enhancing the whole thing. And the power of music is so incredible, you know, that is something that filled my heart all the way, you know. And I'm gonna tell you something. I love food, of course. Anybody know that I love good food. And when I'm working on scoring a movie or something, I even forget how to eat. That's the only time that happened to me. When I'm working on that, I forget to eat, man. And then my wife said, hey, you didn't eat anything the whole day. I said, I'm sorry, I'm busy here now. And then I keep doing that thing. And I did a few movies over the years, not many. I would love to do more. But you know, it's a, especially in the city of Los Angeles, it's more composed than movie than being produced over the years, you know. It's a lot of people, you know, trying to get those jobs. And it's okay. And I've been lucky. I did a few. I would love to do more. My last 2 ones, that was The Mule and Richard Jewell, that was both then directed by the great Clint Eastwood. And today, this morning, I started working already in a new movie called Plantados. It's talking about the political prisoner in Cuba over the years. It's a very intense movie. I start this morning to do my first sketches and then I'm working it.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So when you first got to Miami, you started teaching for university in Miami, correct?
Florida International University.
Okay.
Yeah.
While in Cuba, though, you were not allowed to teach. Is that correct?
No, because I didn't get graduated from the school, you know. And then when I was playing gigs already in the city, a guy who was a trumpet teacher there in the school invited me to be part of the jury for a competition they was doing to go to a trip, you know, somewhere in Europe. And the director of the school called the guy in the middle of the thing and said, what that guy is doing here? I invite him, you know. I'm talking about in the 80s already. I traveled all over the world. We won already a couple of Grammys, and you know,
Yeah.
but they don't care in Cuba. They white the, you know what, whatever, you know. And they throw me out of the school. Say, no, you're not welcome here to do that thing. You don't even get graduated. You don't have any diploma of anything or whatever. I say, okay, thank you. Bye. Good.
Well, let's talk a little bit about then your first big band gig.
Before I finish, when I get to Miami, the three, main university in town offered me the gig, and then I start teaching right away when I get in the U.S. They never ever asked me for the
Credentials or anything?
diploma or credential or anything, and I told them right away before. I said, excuse me, don't ask me for any paper because I have no paper at all. I don't even finish the school, and you know. And I said, no. We never thought about to ask you for any paper. We need you to teach here.
Wow.
I said, thank you, man. Then I retired after almost 20 years teaching
Sure.
in school. Okay.
So your first big band gig?
That was 1967.
Okay.
1967. I was 16 years old when I get off of that school that I was getting the classical training for 3 years, and when I get off of the school, I was doing nothing. I just doing nothing in Havana, and then I met a trumpet player that he was. By the way, they put together like a huge, big band with 6 trumpets, 5 trombone, 5 saxophone, 3 percussionists, 2 drummers, 2 guitars, bass, piano, synthesizer. Oh my goodness, that was a big, huge, big band. Okay, and they put it together there in Cuba in '67. And I was 16 years old. I just came out of the school. I was nobody. Nobody knew about me. I couldn't play anything. I just, was practicing and getting into the classical thing. That's it. And then the guy who played the first trumpet in that big band, and also he was the first trumpet of the National Symphony in Havana. For me, he was the best trumpet player in Cuba, Luis Escalante. He decided to leave that big band and stay only in the symphony orchestra.
Okay.
He didn't want to do both jobs at the same time. There was a lot of job, because the symphony rehearsed in the morning, and then at 2 p.m. he had to rehearse with the big band. It was full day of him, and he said, no, that's it. I don't want to do any more of that. And then he proposed me to take his job. Everybody in the orchestra, everybody look at him and say, "You're completely nuts. You're crazy. Who the heck is that farmer, little guy who don't even have clothes to wear?" Because I came to the rehearsal to watch it with my uniform for the scholarship, with uniform and boots and things. I don't even have clothes to wear. And he looked at those guys and he said, "Listen to me. You all will regret what you're saying about that boy. You will regret that."
Oh.
He was, he believed in me.
Sure.
And he saw something that, And the full orchestra said, no way. And then he get strong in his point, And then finally they accept me to play the 6th trumpet, the last one.
The last chair.
Under protest. Okay, I didn't have any experience at all. They call that Orquesta Cubana de Música Moderna, Cuban Orchestra of Modern Music or something like that. Okay, and I didn't have any experience at all, to be honest. None experience in any specific, and especially in pop music or big band music or whatever.
Sure.
I knew a little bit of Cuban music because I learned it before when I was a teenager,
Okay.
And then a little classical training. That was it. But the rest of the stuff, I was blank, nothing, zero, nada. And then I got a lot of problems in that orchestra, man, because what we call addiction. You know what addiction?
Sure.
That whatever, those kind of things. I didn't have any idea, and then I was learning every day, learning. They put me in the sixth chair, of course, the last one. The last one. I'll be happy to be here. Okay, and then one day the guy who played the lead, he got some change there, chord changes for the solo, and he passed the thing to me. He said, blow that thing. I did it. After the rehearsal, the director called him and said, hey, don't do that anymore. No. Don't give that solo to that farmer boy. No, man, no, don't do that. No. I say he had to take it away from me. I say, okay. I was ready to get through the whole thing, you know. For me it was a test, but also was like going to school, you know.
Sure.
Because I was so hungry for learning, you know, learning anything and everything.
Right.
And that was my only purpose, you know, to learn, to grow, to learn. I was hungry and I went to practice 25 hours a day. I was an extra one. And when we were rehearsing with that big band, they took a break, 15, 20 minutes or something. I went to the dressing room.
And continue to practice.
Practice. I was obsessed with practicing because I knew that I have to learn so many things, you know, and I have to improve. My embouchure was so soft, you know, very soft, just the urban and thing, but I didn't have the shop to go, you know, to go for it. Okay, and then later on, after a year or two or something, they put me in the fifth, and then the fourth, and then the third, and then the second, and then the third. And when I was playing the lead, the first trumpet, I was like 18, 19, 20 years old.
Okay.
I used to run a lot and I played baseball all my life and I really was very strong. No, now I'm going to 71 and you know, but when I was 20 years old, man, I was strong like a bull, you know, and I can blow that horn, man, you cannot believe it. Forget about now. No. I never have those kind of shop ever again after that. Okay, and because I have all the part of the lead part, the first part, sometimes I get tired, sometimes I don't want to be so egomaniac, you know, to play the lead. And then I like to share with all the guys, you know,
Sure.
with all the great trumpet players, and I share everything. The director called me into the office one day and said, Arturo, whatever you do in there, you have to stop doing that. So what you mean? He said, you're passing the lead to this and that. You have to play the lead all the way.
Oh.
I said, man, oh my goodness. And I didn't pay attention to that. I keep doing it with that because there wasn't a great guys on the session and I passed, you know, the lead to them too. Of course, absolutely.
Wow.
But that was a good experience. I was there until they called me. That was 67, 68, 69, 71. Yeah. After 4 years of 71, I got a beautiful telegram. 1961, 71.
Okay.
I got a beautiful telegram that they calling me for the obligatory military service for 3 years. 3 years.
3 years.
3 years. And that screwed my life big time, man, because I was in my, you know, my prime. I was 20 years old.
Yep.
And
Could you play at all during those 3 years?
oh yeah, when somebody died, I played a tap or something. That was it.
That was it.
The rest was marching, cleaning cannons, and doing weapon and training and military training, all those things. Yeah, that was horrible. But it's okay. That's part of my life. I have to be a fighter for all my life.
In the movie, and if you guys have seen For Love or Country, it depicts how you met Marianella. Can you expound on your actual meeting?
In the movie, it's very, very accurate.
Is it?
It's very accurate
Okay.
because I was in a bus stop in the long line waiting for the bus in
Okay.
Havana. And then she turned around the corner, and when she saw the line, the same bus she's supposed to take, she saw the line and she did like this. Oh my goodness, you know, the line was extremely long.
Sure.
And then I look at her and say, uh-oh, I like that woman, she's hot. And then I start calling her, excuse me, hey, I say, I save you,
A spot?
a spot here for you in the line. Come here with me. And then she came, stand up and look at me and say, who are you? Why you did that? I said, stay quiet, play the game. And then you are in line already. And then a few months later, we get married.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
That's
awesome.
a true story. That was 45 years ago.
45 years.
Yeah, 75,
Oh, man.
45.
So tell me a little bit more about Johnny Mathis, Michel Legrand again, and the Bergmans.
Okay, and I think it was in the early 80s. It was a film festival in Havana, and Michel Legrand came to the film festival. We played together there a few times, and also was Johnny Mandel came to that film festival, and Marilyn and Alan Berman, the incredible,
Lyricist.
lyricists,
Yes.
And we met there, they even came to our house. Manuela cooked for that and everything, and it was very nice, okay. And I was in Miami, and I got a phone call from the Berman. They was producing an album with Johnny Mathis singing the music of Michel Legrand
Oh.
with the lyrics of Alan and Marilyn Berman. They was producing that album here in LA,
Okay.
and I was in Miami. They called me and they said, Arturo, we're doing this project now. We would like you play a couple solos in this album. I said, oh, absolutely. It's going to be my honor. Johnny Mathis, oh my goodness, that silky, beautiful voice. I would love to meet him. And that. Okay. They put me in the first class in the plane. They put me in a beautiful hotel here in LA with the limousine and everything. They went to the studio. There was Michel Legrand, Marilyn, and Alan Berman. It was there in the studio with the engineer. They got my music there and everything. We talked for a while, and then when I was about to go to the room to play, Alan Berman told me, Arturo, by the way, I got a message from Johnny Mathis. He's very, very sorry that he got how they say that
The cast.
a cast
Broken leg.
because he got a broken leg. I got an accident. He got a cast, and he said he's very sorry he cannot be here because he would like to be here too, but he cannot do it. I say, oh man, oh, what a shame, because I really was looking forward to meet him too, Okay, and then I went to the studio, I get my horn, started warming up a little bit, and then I was ready. When I was ready to start playing, I looked through the window like this, like a glass, in the studio, and I saw Johnny Mathis on crutches, walking in the hall to the booth, to the studio. And then I put the trumpet down and I say, Alan, you told me he cannot make. And I look at here saying, oh my goodness, man, I'm so sorry. Wow, why you did that? They say, man, you know what, I'm going to tell you something. Johnny Mathis, I want to tell you something. I really was wondering why the Berman flew a guy from Miami to come here to LA to play a trumpet solo in my album. Like, if we don't have a trumpet player here in LA. And I say, I'm sorry, sir, but beside that, we're friends, and they want to help me, and I really was really very happy and pleased to meet you, Okay, and then I went to the studio and I played my thing, and I play my thing. When I get back to listen, to play back the solo idea, something. Johnny Mathis, that was very funny, man. He looked at me and said, now I wonder why. Those little things, that really touch your heart, when those little details are happening in your life, those things fill your soul,
Exactly.
not your ego.
No.
Fill your soul, and then it's like I always took those kind of things as an incredible motivation to keep working hard, to keep practicing, to keep loving music, I'm going to share with you something that happened to me when we were recording a Time for Love album. That was a piano trio. That was Chelly Bird, Greg Field on the drums, and Chuck Berhofer on the bass. That was the trio.
Okay.
And then on top of that, we later on we put strings and something, but mainly strings. And then, when we cut those tracks, I was in the isolated booth playing my part too.
Okay.
Just to cut the bassist track. You got it?
I got it. Yes, sir.
Get through correctly?
It's up here.
Yeah, okay. No, I mean is I explain myself.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yes, you understand.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then I was playing there with them, but I supposed to do it after I put the string and everything. I'm going to re-record the trumpet again.
Okay.
When we play a couple of tunes, we followed on the weekend in the booth to hear what we did, no? And then we was listening to the thing. There was George Calandrelli too, Jorge Calandrelli, the incredible arranger and composer. He was there. He wrote a few of those, most of the charts, a few of those charts
Okay.
for that album. And you know what? We was there, listen, and then I look like this and I see Chuck Berhofer. Man, I say, oh, I talked to someone, I say, hey man, what's going on with Chuck? He got some problem, something? And then I went there because I really like him so much. He's just a beautiful guy.
Beautiful guy.
And I went there beside to one of the incredible bass players, man. Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I went there and said, Chuck, I'm sorry, man, what happened to you? And then he touched me in the shoulder like this. He said, Chuck, are you okay? He said, yeah, I'm okay. I said, what happened to you? He said to me, Arturo, you play so pretty. Man, that was many years ago. And I never, ever will forget that.
That's beautiful.
Because, a lot of people say, oh man, you play so high, you play so loud, you play so fast. But that's, for me, is the most important compliment when somebody got a sensitivity, to get the message and say such a thing, and recognize that we don't only play loud and high, that's my goal in life, learn how to play pretty and express feelings and share emotion with the people. For example, when I sit here at home in the piano, I never play. Oh. You know what I do most of the time? I play something like. melodic and romantic and night changes. I barely never tried to be extremely creative, to create things so weird that only crazy musician could understand. No,
Yeah.
no, no. When I compose music, I always thinking about the people who are not musicians, but they have a sensitivity to appreciate when you send a nice, mellow message.
Right. Music that is absorbing.
Absolutely. This is a bless we got from God. We are able to transmit emotion through the music.
I
We
agree.
got that ability, and we should use it in the best way to heal the spirit of the people, especially in time like this that we're getting through now.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
we have a lot of things to heal.
Yeah. So one of my final questions for you.
Yeah.
You've recorded over 40 albums throughout your career. What's your favorite?
Of the one I recorded?
Of all the albums you've recorded over the years.
Oh my goodness, it's a difficult question, but because when I go to the studio to do an album, that means I have the desire to do it. I got a passion and I got a special interest to put in tape some kind of music. Because of all of them, I love all of them.
Sure.
And my last one, the duets, the ultimate duets or something, is such an honor and privilege to have all those things. When I did, I remember Playful, when I did To This With Love, Swinging. Man, I've been so lucky because I got a bunch of special guests. Joe Williams, the great singer, from Count Basie.
That's right.
Joe Williams, he's on one of my albums. Celia Cruz, Oscar de Leon, man, so many of them, and then when I get to the U.S., I got a lot of guys, One of my biggest heroes, Michael Brecker.
Oh,
He played in two of my albums, Swinging and Hot House.
that's right.
Hot House, huh?
That's right.
He played in two of my albums. That for me is, man, Clyde Terry playing my album, Michael Stern, Chick Corea, Joey Calderazzo. Oh my goodness, AKA playing a lot of my albums. I'm so sorry. I would love to mention all of them because there's a lot of great musicians playing my album,
Sure.
but I'm terribly sorry I don't have time to mention all of them because I'm talking about hundreds of musicians.
Sure.
It's a huge honor for me. But to end my question, I'm going to mention one album that is on top of the list of my favorite album that I ever recorded. I must say, Trumpet Evolution. Trumpet Evolution is my dedication, my tribute to all the major exponents of the instrument. You understand that word?
I do.
Exponents.
Yes, sir.
Exponent
Yes, sir.
of the instrument. All the people who really make a huge impact and influence in the world of trumpet. And that's my tribute and my respect to all of them, And I recorded 19 different songs from different era, different styles, different genres of music, Maurice Andre, Timofey Dovicisa, Maynard, Louis, Miles, Dizzy Gillespie, Biggs by the Beck,
King Oliver. Yeah,
Bonnie Berrigan.
that's right. That's right.
Oh my goodness, it's a lot of them, and it's my, how can I say, my little contribution to paying respect to all those great trumpet players in the past.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's all I've got, sir.
Okay, man, thank you so much, guys, people paying attention, and I hope that you enjoy listening to this kind of stories, of all kind. Some of them were funny, some of them not too funny, but it's a difficult time we are getting through, and I refuse to talk about or to because we have to clear our mind and think about other things and continue inspired to keep enjoying the blessing of music. God bless you all and God bless the USA. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.